One of the things I really enjoy about my job is talking to legends in various sports, and I am sitting beside one of those. 10-time Pro Stock champion, one time won 5 in a row, won 9 straight one time, NHRA races, 50 eliminator rounds in a row. Bob Glidden, you're back in a race car.
It's so exciting for me. I can't even explain to you what it meant to me to make the first run here at Indy.
You've been retired since what, 1997?
It's been a long time. I don't think a lot about it, but it's been a good while.
Was it Jim Cunningham giving you a call, or you calling him to get into the Pro Stock car?
Well, I had been talking to Jim just when he qualified in Seattle. I called him Saturday night to congratulate him, and we'd been talking really not about racing or me racing. And here about a week ago, he said, "Why don't you drive this car?" And I said, "I don't know about that, Jim." He said, "Well, we're going to test before Indy." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the test and I'll make a run." And I said, "I'll probably come back and tell you no, don't want to do it." I made a run, and it was so exciting that I came back and told him thanks. My gosh, I mean, it was so exciting for me to get back in one of these cars.
Is it like riding a bicycle? Does it feel the same?
No, these cars are so much different, but you know, Jimmy's guys, Jimmy and Dean on my car, and Marcus, they kind of babysit me to make sure, try to get me to do the right things. So they made it pretty easy for me.
Now, one of the things I heard was when you went to the test, they had to adjust the clutch because I believe the driver that was in the car weighs a lot more than you. Someone told me you weigh 140 pounds soaking wet, and you had to change the pressure on the clutch a little bit.
I was too weak to hold the clutch in, that's the truth. And like I said, these guys have worked really hard to make me fit into the car, and gosh, I can't thank them enough.
You sound like a kid in a candy store right now. Is that the feeling you're having, Bob?
That's exactly right. I can't tell you how I felt, the excitement I felt getting back in the car.
I look at the fans here at the U.S. Nationals, and it's amazing. It is really amazing seeing them, their reaction to you when you're out there in the car. They know what you did. I mean, you put Pro Stock on the map with what you did.
No, I just came along at the right time, and we, over the years, have spent a lot of time with our fans, and they never forget, and I love them. And it's for me to come down the return road and get a standing ovation, you know, by the time I'm to the end, I'm crying.
Well, the fans love it. I know you love it, but most importantly, there's a reason for all this. Not just being in the race car. Jim Cunningham's needed help. They've got the new Cobra Jet engine, the new 2010 Ford Mustang body. They've struggled this year. There's no question about that. You were actually in there kind of as a driver, test driver, giving them a lot of information. And just on this weekend, we could see the progress looking at the timesheets that the team's been making.
Well, I've been in driver's ed, so you know, don't give me any credit. Like I said, these guys here have worked so hard to make that car fit me. And again, I'll say I can't thank them enough. And this is all thanks to Jim Cunningham and the folks at Ford. You know, Mose Nolan has been here for 100 years. I've been in, you know, I've known Mose, I guess, 40 years, and they've made it happen with the parts. We've got some incredible Ford parts, and we're going to get to work on the engine program. Jimmy's got the guys to do it, and we're going to we'll be fine.
What's it like being back at a Cobra Jet? You brought that out, the 428 Cobra Jet, back in 1968. You're right, Mose Nolan was around when Moses was around, the original Moses, but he knows engines. He knows how to build winning race engines. You and him, you've talked about it, have the relationship. Can the pairing of you, of him, and Jim Cunningham bring this car back to where it was back in the glory days?
Well, Mose has already done his part. You know, we've got incredible Ford parts to put these Pro Stock cars together. Now, Jim Cunningham is responsible for this whole ordeal. You know, with him and his financial support and the guys he has working for us, we will get there.
When you get in this car all the time, because I watch the smile on your face, I've seen almost the tears come up, do you think, maybe I want to do this more than just Indianapolis, that maybe I can do this for a while and see how it progresses?
My plans are right now, when the race is finished, I'm going back to Maryland to try to give his guys a different opinion about some things. And I'll say that in 4 or 5 weeks, we'll have 2 good qualifiers. And then through the winter, we're going to have to work hard to get another step up near the front.
Any plans of being the driver in the race car? Does that continue according to how this weekend goes at the U.S. Nationals?
No, this weekend has been fine. I do plan on driving the car, yes.
Well, I think the fans are going to enjoy that. What was that first run like going down the drag strip? Did you have trouble keeping it out of your mind? I'm back in a race car, because you've got to focus for that 6+ seconds.
No, it's still in my mind. I mean, I'm so excited when I pull the straps down that it is incredible.
Do you have flashbacks to those days? I mean, you used to have some great competition, but you were so dominant at times. Is it hard to explain how you miss the sport, how it becomes part of your life?
Well, it has always been my life, but no, I don't think back. You know, the first 2 or 3 runs I made in the car, it's so much different because of the engine speed, the engine RPMs, and the cars move so much harder. And I'm just trying to focus on what these guys are telling me to do.
So not only are they working on the car, but you as Bob Glidden are working on the driver.
They're working on Bob Glidden, trying to straighten me out.
What types of things do you have to now personally do maybe differently than you did the last time you were in a Pro Stock car in 1997?
I'm just listening to Marcus and Jim and Brandon, and they're giving me all the help in the world.
Well, it's obviously paying off. As I said, just looking at the sheets, you keep improving, and that's what this is all about, improving. Jim Cunningham, who's been in this sport since the mid-'60s and before, racetrack with a team. I mean, this is his life too, is to get him back to where he's competitive with the big names, the big budget team.
You know, Jim Cunningham, his wife, they're very nice people. This is their life. Like I said, it takes him and his financial support, and with me, his mental support for me to make this happen.
You think we should have I don't want to call it a senior division of racing out here, but I take a look at you. John Force is 61 and he's still racing. I talked to Shirley Muldowney a couple of weeks ago. We were having lunch together at a function. She's 70. She came out and told me, I'm 70. I want to get back in a race car. I've got unfinished business. And it kind of shows what it all is, but do you think the sport, I think the sport needs people like you back around, because today I was walking around and heard somebody talking about, I remember when Big Daddy Don Garlis, I remember this, I remember that. You are the history and fabric of the NHRA in drag racing.
Well, let me tell you something about John Force. He is the backbone of our deal right now. He may be 61, but he races like he's 40. I mean, this year's been so impressive. I've been impressed by John and how he's gone about being competitive in racing this year. So, and Garlitz, we were talking about it up on the starting line just a while ago. He could get, you know, these crew guys are so good today. Don could get in a car and be competitive the first run.
Well, maybe we'll be talking about Bob Glidden kind of the same way as John Force having one of those years on down the road. I think there's some good things coming for this team and for you if you continue driving this car all the way through Pomona.
I'm excited about it. It's going to take us a while, like I said, to get me and the car and the setups and the engine program the way it needs to be, but we will get there.
Let me say this, welcome back.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.